Okay, one last little side note about conversion factors. Sometimes you need to actually build a conversion factor that might be squared or cubed in order to convert and calculate something. Okay, so we're going to take a minute here and look at units raised to a power. Okay, so sometimes we have to build a conversion factor for units that are raised to a power. Okay, and so when we do this, we need to remember we're going to raise both the number and the unit to the power. Okay, so we're going to use a conversion factor that we're going to build in the problem next, but first I want to talk to you about how we can actually build. Okay, so we might need a conversion factor that we can't easily look up, but we can build it. For example, a square inch and a square centimeter. So I need a relationship between square inches and square centimeters. I know what it is between inches and centimeters. 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters. So I can build how many square inches are equal to how many square centimeters, because I might need that for my conversion, for my calculation. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to start out with the basic conversion factor that you know, or you can look up. 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters. Okay, but I need the units squared. Okay, so when I build it, both the number and the unit are going to get squared. Okay, so 1 inch, I'm going to square it. 2.54 centimeters, I'm going to square it. Okay, so here's where a lot of people forget. You also square the number. So 1 inch squared is just 1, and then the unit squared is the unit squared. Okay, but here, right, it's 2.54 squared. Okay, so don't forget to pull the square out for the number. 2.54 squared is 6.45, and then centimeters squared is centimeters squared. So the final conversion that you would, conversion factor that you would use in your calculation, right, is 1 inch squared is equal to 6.45 square centimeters. Okay, you can't just like put a square in there and put a square in there and leave the numbers the same. You also have to square the numbers, okay, or cube the numbers if you're trying to get something cubed. All right, okay, so you may have to do this for some problems, and you may see it on an exam, you may see it on a worksheet in lab or in homework problems. Okay, so let's do a practice problem where we have to build some units raised to powers in order to solve the problem. All right, so this very last problem that we're going to do is we're going to calculate the displacement of a 5.70 liter automobile engine, and we're going to convert that volume into cubic inches. Okay, we don't give any other information, so we're just going to convert this volume into this cubic inches here. Okay, so might kind of be a little stuck here, so I'm just going to kind of work my way through and see if some units kind of are popping into my head. So I know I can go liters to milliliters, right? And I know that I have 1 milliliter is equal to 1 cubic centimeter. Okay, that's important that I recognize this now, because now that I'm in a length, okay, centimeters, if I kind of ignore the cube there, I can go from centimeters to inches, right? I know centimeters to inches, but here this centimeter is cubed, and the question is asking me to report it in cubic inches. Okay, so here is where I need to recognize that I need to build the relationship between cubic centimeters and cubic inches. Okay, so I'm going to start out with my relationship between inches and centimeters, and from here I'm going to build up to how many cubic inches is equal to how many cubic centimeters. Okay, so go ahead and take a minute and work that out and pause the video, and then we'll pick up from there. Okay, so developing the power, let's just do our check. 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters. We need to cube everything all the way through, the numbers and the units. So you should get 1 cubic inch is equal to 16.39 cubic centimeters. All right, so now we'll be able to use that and plug that into our calculation. So 5.70 liters, I'm going to convert to milliliters. Liters cancel. And then now I'm going to go to milliliters to cubic centimeters, and my mils are going to cancel. There we go. And now I'm at cubic centimeters, and I'm going to use this conversion factor here that I just developed. And so that's going to be 16.39 cubic centimeters per 1 cubic inch. Okay. And unplug that in my calculator. 5.7 times 1,000 divided by 16.39, or you can use the parenthesis 2.54 cubed to be more exact number. And that's going to give me 347.835 cubic inches. And I only have 3 sig figs over there in the initial, so I'm going to round that to 348 cubic inches.